hyperactivity, giftedness in at least one area, incredible creativity, off the hook creativity, a strong energy of defiance, and intuitive intelligence is very high. So they are off the charts intuitive. And they, whether it's knowing things before they happen or just having a deep sense about things, when you have those pieces of the puzzle, you know that you are raising an indigo child. Hi, my name is Maureen Healy, and my background is spirituality and child development and psychology and intuition, and working with our highly sensitive yet sometimes strong-willed children all over the world. I think it's important for sensitive children to realize that different is good. That being weird and different is a good thing. Under the big umbrella of sensitive children, there's lots of different types of sensitive children. There can even be those who, what we would call developmentally regular. So maybe they're metaphysical terms, we would say indigo or crystal or star seeds, or those who are developmentally delayed like autism or Asperger's. So they're also very sensitive children. But when we look at sensitive children who are developmentally regular, who are highly sensitive and outwardly gifted and very intuitive and oftentimes psychic, the indigos are the kids that are, I don't want to say troublemakers, but they're fierce. They have an intensity to them. If you're parenting or you have an indigo child in your classroom, you know it because they are the first ones to stand up for what they believe in. They think that fairness is very important. You've probably heard them say, "That's not fair." I had one indigo child I worked with who was about 5, and he got really upset with his teacher and just walked out of the classroom and went right to the principal. It was like, "I'm talking to the principal." Like, he was enough. So that's a very indigo quality, is to say, I stand up for what I believe in, and they have that fierceness, and they hold true to what they know inside, their own inner wisdom. Others, like the crystal children, are healers. They're here to be healers. They can be across all different fields. But what makes them very unique is that they don't have that fierceness. They don't come to you with that, "I'm going to do it. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not going to school today." They're more like, "All right, I'll go to school." Like, they're very quiet. Crystals are extremely sensitive. They're probably one of the most sensitive kids. So for them, it's important what their environments are like. It's important who their friends are like, because they will blend in with whoever they are. So you want to make sure they have good friendships and that they're hanging around kids that are really, positive influences. And then the star seeds are, they're interesting too, because they're these kids that are super intelligent, super smart, but they don't necessarily fit in with other people. They literally are like, how does this planet Earth work? And almost all sensitive kids need what I would call planet Earth lessons, like, how does this planet work? How do we make this work? But star seeds tend to have different temperatures, and they tend to have this connection with the stars. They know they're from somewhere else. They came here for a specific purpose, to move the world along in something very particular. I don't necessarily use the word rainbow, but I know that there are children that we, like you said, we don't want to label all children, but there are kids that don't fit into a category, but we know they're emotionally sensitive. I guess what I would highlight to you and everyone is that there's sensitivity in a lot of different ways. We can be emotionally sensitive. We can be sensitive to space. We can be sensitive to environments. We can be sensitive, the physical sensitivity to clothes and to food. So there's a lot of different ways that sensitivity demonstrates itself. And, the reason why I don't want to say a huge advocate of labeling indigo kids indigos, but I think it's important because indigo children have that deep sensitivity and that deep fierceness that oftentimes are called difficult or problem child, but if you understand who they are, you can really help them succeed. So that's important, to understand who they really are, so that we can help them navigate school systems, we can help them navigate friendships, we can help them cooperate with others. So that's really valuable. Sensitive children, since they are so sensitive, and they're not just physically sensitive, like they hate scratchy clothing, they're sensitive to the words people say to them. So you want to put them in an environment where there are more children like them, so that they are more sensitive to what people say. And there are people who are aware of who these kids really are and can help bring out their gifts, because children who are sensitive don't necessarily score very highly on tests. That doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. They have off the charts intelligence, is usually in at least one area but they are often uneven gifts, meaning they may be off the charts in reading, but they're not so great in math. So you need to have someone be able to see who they really are and draw out their gifts so they can succeed. I think that any teacher that has sensitive kids in their classroom, and if you're a teacher, chances are you do, it behooves you to learn about sensitivity, to see it as a strength, because you begin to see the children in your classroom differently. Sensitive kids are very compassionate, typically. So they may, if there was, a turtle in the classroom, they may say, oh, can I feed the turtle today? You can sort of build up the gifts that they have and help them learn the other gifts, and students can teach each other. Sensitivity can be a strength. How can I help this girl or boy learn how to use it as a strength? And how can I tap into this student and help them succeed and help them thrive when they may need more time on a test than other kids? Sensitive kids hate to be rushed. And knowing that they learn in a different way, you have to teach them in a different way. For example, if you think about math, and it's very abstract, right? 8 minus 4 is 4, right? But if you do more visual math, like, okay, literally put eggs in front of the student and say, okay, look at how many eggs there are, and then I take this away, how many eggs are left? You might have to teach them in a different way. It may have to be more experiential. It may have to be more audio, more visual, more movement, so it requires a teacher to be more creative, and depending upon the school system and the time, and if they have a teacher's assistant, they may have the time to do that and they may not. But I think that any teacher that has sensitive kids in their classroom, and if you're a teacher, chances are you do, it behooves you to learn about sensitivity, to see it as a strength, because you begin to see the children in your classroom differently. We don't label them as the difficult child. We say, oh, that's a highly creative one. They're not learning in a traditional rote memorization and feed it back to you way. They're learning in a more creative way where they have the answers within them and are able to tap into that information and bring it to the world. Teaching kids responsibility, that they're responsible not only for their lives, but for their happiness, and that they have control over their emotions, is a really big deal. When you're young and small to the world, you feel like your emotions are much bigger than you. And that's a natural feeling. But when you begin to learn that you're bigger than your emotions, that's when you start to gain control, and you can manage your energy, and then you can learn other skills to help you succeed in the world. Sensitivity is positively related to giftedness. And I don't want to say challenge, but it is a challenge. It's just not always obvious, right? So all sensitive kids are gifted. It can be in all different fields. It could be a humanitarian, it could be a scientist, it could be a homemaker, it could be gifted in all different ways. But allow yourself the ability to see these gifts and let these gifts emerge. And it's not like, I like to think of children as like a gift, a present, and that we're unwrapping it, and we keep unwrapping the gifts. And they may be good at one thing in 2nd grade, but then their gifts change and then they have a new gift in 5th grade. So allowing them the ability to let their gifts emerge. Oftentimes I find society wants to raise these cookie cutter kids, or these kids that are all the same. And children feel that pressure. They feel like, I need to be like everyone else. But if you're sensitive, you are not like these other kids. So being able to celebrate your uniqueness is really important. And if you don't do that, it's really sort of hiding your light, and you don't want to do that. You want to let your light shine, and to claim that the idea of being sensitive and unique is really a wonderful thing, because that's where your gifts lie, in your differences and your uniqueness.